and welcome to the Power Circuit, a program of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This is a platform where we bring you the latest updates, key milestones, and performance scorecards from the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI. I'm your host, Amara Agugesi. Here's what we have lined up for you today. The Minister of Power, alongside top officials of TCN, inspects smart meters, the TCN Apapa GIS substation, and the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency NEMSA's meter test substation in Lagos. In addition, this episode places a spotlight on health, safety and environment (HSE). We examine how HSE practices are being sustained across the Benin transmission region. Featured in our interview segment is Engineer Abamiyo Otaru, Principal Manager Health, Safety and Environment at TCN. Stay with us. The Power Circuit begins now. The Honorable Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, has inspected 23 containers of smart electricity meters at the Apapa port in Lagos State. The meters are designated for distribution companies as part of ongoing efforts to close the metering gap and improve service delivery to electricity consumers. During the visit, the minister, accompanied by management officials of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, also inspected the level of work and ongoing upgrades at the Apapa transmission substation in Lagos. Here are the details.
In Nigeria, there is an estimated 8 million meters required to close the gap between the customers of distribution companies, DISCOs, that have meters for their electricity utilities and those that do not. The federal government has over the years rolled out several initiatives to increase the metering of DISCO's customer collections. The Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, has been championing the Presidential Metering Initiative, PMI. Demonstrating this, the minister led his team to inspect the delivery of 1.4 million meters at the APM Terminal, Apapa Wharf, Lagos, meant for the 11 distribution companies aimed at closing the over 8 million metering gap. Speaking with the media after the inspection, the minister said the meter consignments he had inspected were delivered through a component of the PMI called Distribution Rehabilitation and Expansion Program, DSTREP.
One of the programs is the World Bank funded Distribution Sector Recovery Program, which we call DSTREP. Under this program, a total of about 3.4 million meters are to be imported. Out of which the first batch covers about 1.4 million meters. So we have received close to 1 million meters from this first batch. And a number of them have been transported to their respective destinations, to the distribution companies, where they will be eventually installed to customers' locations. We have installed close to 150,000 meters as of today, and we hope to round up the installation of this first batch of imported meters before the end of the year.
Chief Adelabu noted that he needed to confirm the delivery of the procured meters, which is in collaboration with the World Bank to accelerate the clearance of the containers.
We have decided to come in here and personally inspect some consignments that have been received into the country that are currently here at the ports, and to also have a conversation with the Nigerian Customs and the port operators on how we can accelerate the clearance of these meters as soon as they land in the country to aid in faster installation of these meters across the country.
He assured that the smart meters would be installed for electricity consumers without any cost, in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
We also want to use this opportunity to let Nigerians know that in line with the electoral promises of Mr. President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, these meters are being given to the consumers free of charge. Yes.
The minister also inspected the progress of work at the 2x60 MVA Apapa gas insulated transmission substation. It is being rehabilitated for the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, with grant funding from the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA. The substation, on completion, is expected to improve power supply to Apapa and its environs. The minister concluded the inspection by visiting the National Meter Test Station in Oshodi, Lagos. This facility belongs to the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA.
There are three of them. So it has been indicated so that they won't need to move those meters to different locations.
The Executive Director, Transmission Service Provider at the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Engineer Dr. Oluwagbenga Ajiboye, provided further insights into the role TCN played in the procurement of the World Bank-funded smart meters, as well as the testing of meter by NEMSA.
The TCN is the SPV, Special Purpose Vehicle, used to achieve that, because it's a World Bank-funded project, and we don't have they cannot trust any other person except the federal government agency to handle the fund and the procurement. That's how the TCN came in. We are the one that did all the procurement process, because we have understanding and knowledge of how it should be done for World Bank. We procure it, we do the bidding, we do the bidding, so that everything will be transparent and be able to achieve it without problem. And we are working with the BPA, according to what you have heard from the Director General of BPA, to be able to bring a framework to deploy, to register and deploy this meter, because we need to still monitor the performance and the success of the project, since we are the SPV used to achieve it. They are the, let me put it, legally assigned for the Nigeria to test meter. No other person test meter than them. Even if we buy meter, we must give it to them. If we bought meter, they must test it and certify it, especially when we call it trading meter. If you are not going to use it as test meter, it must be certified by NEMSA, so that it can be used to settle all revenue issues.
The TCN top management official re-echoed the minister's confirmation that the mass meter will be given to electricity users and DISCO's customers freely as part of the federal government intervention in the power sector.
We want the whole public to know, not that when something happens now, people will start collecting money from them and be able to defraud, let me put it that way. So we want to make sure we publicize it, know what the government is doing as intervention to make electricity available, accountable for everybody to be able to have access to it.
Engineer Ajiboye also spoke about the minister's inspection of the JICA-financed rehabilitation work at the Apapa gas insulated transmission substation.
It's an ongoing project, 2x60 MV, that is going to be delivered, and it's a grant from the Japanese government, that is JICA. So it's going to impact on us positively, because we are going to add to the wheeling capacity of that Apapa road substation. It used to be 40 MVA before, so it's upgraded. However, we have another one by 60 MVA already in operation now. With the oncoming of the 2x60 MV, is going to have more capacity for a whole disco to be able to evacuate to their teeming customer that are around Apapa and all the other environments.
We also got in touch with Engineer Tukuru Bamali, the project manager, World Bank Project Implementation Unit at TCN, for further insight into the coordination of the Disrupt Metering project financed by the World Bank through TCN.
And I honestly thank the Honorable Minister of Power for having time to visit the port to inspect some of our meters, about 23 containers that have arrived at the APMT terminal. It's a sign that the federal government of Nigeria, under the leadership of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is ready to close the metering gap, and it's a sign that also to make the public aware that this meter is available to all the Nigerian customers free of charge.
And for the JICA financed rehabilitation project going on at the 132-33 kV Apapa transmission substation, Dr. Vincent Afamefuna, the Assistant General Manager, JICA Project Implementation Unit at TCN, spoke about it.
The station basically is a 2x60 MVA substation. It's a GIS. So they did a complete rehabilitation of that station. So we are having brand new GIS. We initially had a new one. Now we are having an old one. Now we are having complete new GIS, which will increase demand issue solving within that upper road, wharf area, and the grid in general. We have basically two types of substations. We have the AIS, which is the air insulated substation, like the one you see generally. You can see the power equipment physically. But this GIS is gas insulated switch gear station, substation. So here you see that the components are enclosed. You won't see it physically, but they are enclosed in a casing that generates the transfer power.
The power circuit continues after this break. Please don't go away.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmits bulk electricity from power generating companies, GenCos, to distribution load centers of distribution companies, DISCOs, nationwide. At TCN, we transport bulk electricity at very high voltage to DISCOs, who now off-take it and distributes it directly to electricity customers nationwide. TCN does not generate electricity. We transport the quantum of power generated to distribution load centers. TCN does not distribute electricity directly to electricity consumers. Our job stops where that of the DISCOs begin. TCN, transmitting bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
Next is a focus on health, safety and environment HSE in the Benin Transmission region of TCN, where we will be having an interview session with Engineer Abamiyo Otaru, a principal manager in charge of HSE in the region. What is the role of the health, safety and environment in the Benin sub-region?
We are to make sure that people comply with rules and regulations under safety. When I say people, the personnel, because safety is focusing on personnel, equipment, and the environment. The personnel inclusive of visitors, IT students, corpers, and whoever with contractors and their team. Their safety is our primary concern, tagged under duty of care. Then the equipment are sited in the environment. So as much as the equipment are functioning very well, because when we go out hunting for hazards, we go out to hunt for hazards within the environment, within the scope of the equipment. So whatever we see, we write a report and send it to the management for instant attention.
What are the key safety actions in the Benin region?
The key safety issue is going to be based on one, our safety behavior within the staff. Do they comply with safety rules and regulations? Yes. But sometimes because of human error, sometimes we need to do more. Then when you talk about the equipment, there are some certain things your common eye could not see, especially when you have hotspots. We need all those vision camera to actually spot where there is a place of hotspots. Because these are things that normally raise hazards. If it cannot be detected on time, it will gradually result to either explosion or detachment or destroying the equipment. So, safety officer has a lot at hand to do. Hunting for hazards, not on human being alone, on equipment and the environment. Because the environment is a living system. We can as well hurt the environment. And you know, we are operating within the environment. So the moment you hurt the environment, it bounces back to you.
There are reports of the encroachment of the right-of-way of power transmission lines in this region. As a safety concern, how are you addressing this?
Let me give a kudos to the GM that is leading the fight. The AGMT, all the AGMs and the work center managers, they are trying. You know, we stay in the region where there is a kind of volatility of crime. People feel that they can do whatever they like, especially when it comes to federal government property. They feel it is our property. So, but when you interview some people, probably out of ignorance, because they are compromising their own safety, they will tell you, no, it's a free land. There is no free land under right of way. We try as much as we could through the proper channel of the PRO. I think I will give them a kudos. This team that is presently here in the region, I think they are even thinking out of box to see that no corrections, no sensitization is taking place every now and then. But being what we are here in the South region, you know, I'm not taking it as if we are too strong, because when you are destroying yourself, you are not all that strong. But it's what they've been coming across every blessed day. And sometimes, even the state government, local government, without any proper consultation, they equally go into the right of way. And by the time you say they are using it to control erosion, you don't solve problem and create a bigger one. So this is what the GM, the PRO, and the team as a whole, the safety officers, are going up and down to educate people.
People also stay under the right-of-way of power transmission lines. Are there health implications?
It's an extension of our equipment. People install them, human beings install them. They are not created by God. So you cannot foretell, because they come under environmental factors, corrosion, tearing and wearing. We pray that one of these days, God will continue helping us. If not, there can be a detachment. And beside that one, though it's still under scientific investigation, but the radiation coming out of high voltage, it says it's susceptible to people who are susceptible to cancer. Because of those ones, there could be an injury of. But it's also that where you have people going into, people who are now kidnappers are using right of way also to set an ambush, because people feel that it is always an easy access for people to pass. So there are a lot of health implications, a lot.
Are there also actions to mitigate issues of sand excavation around the transmission tower base in the Benin region?
The PRO personnel, please, they've gone even on radio to jingles, on sensitization with this electronic gadget to educate people that please, this thing is not the right thing to do. But like I said, it's only God that stays in one place and see everywhere. So you can educate them today. Definitely you're not going to stay there with them. We've gone to areas like, if you are going to Uniben, the left axis of it, we've gone there. Not far away from this other side also, we've been there. So severally. Then along Saple Bini Road, we've been there.
What message would you like to convey to trespassers around the power transmission lines corridor?
My message to them is that life You can only live your life once. And there's no duplicate to life. Whoever that come in contact with dangerous hazards that can maim or take his life is not a good thing. So we should stay clear away from. It's our heritage, both for us and for our children, and children yet unborn. But if we begin to vandalize them, then start taking proper care of them, we will, the consequences will still come back to us.
That was Engineer Abamiyo Otaru, a Principal Manager HSE overseeing the Benin Transmission Region of TCN. Maintaining high standards of health, safety and environment at the transmission substations is essential for protecting lives, ensuring a reliable power supply and safeguarding Nigeria's environment. Let us commit to safe work practices today and always. Let's wrap up this episode with the highlights. Earlier we told you about the inspection visit by the Honorable Minister of Power alongside officials of the Transmission Company of Nigeria TCN to inspect smart meters, the TCN Apapa GIS substation, and the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency NEMSA's meter test station in Lagos. Continuing our focus on health, safety and environment HSE, we featured an interview with Engineer Abamiyo Otaru, Principal Manager HSE in the Benin Transmission Region of TCN. The Transmission Company of Nigeria TCN is pleased to have you join us on the power circuit as we continue to bring you greater insights into Nigeria's power sector. You can stay connected by visiting TCN's official YouTube channel at TCN_Nigeria, where you can watch all episodes of the power circuit. We also encourage you to follow and engage with TCN across all its social media platforms. On Facebook, like the page Transmission Company of Nigeria. On LinkedIn, connect with Transmission Company of Nigeria. On X, follow at TCN_Nigeria. And on Instagram, stay updated via at TCN_Nigeria. TCN welcomes your feedback and observations. Please send your comments to affairs.public@tcn.org.ng. For more information on TCN's activities, visit our interactive website at www.tcn.org.ng or follow updates on our dedicated news platform www.tcnnews.ng, designed to keep you informed on developments across the power sector. We also urge the public to support TCN by remaining vigilant against the vandalism of power transmission lines, towers, and substations. Please report any suspicious activity to TCN officials or the nearest security agency. I'm your host, Amara Agugesi. Thank you for watching and join us again next week for another exciting edition of The Power Circuit.